You live down by the river in London, and obviously the history, landscape and architecture inspire you. Was this the beginning of the History Keepers? Where did you first get the idea?
Well, definitely it's an inspiration living around here because I've got the Globe next door, St Paul's Cathedral over the road, over the river I should say, and the monument, which is you know, the great big column that was built in commemoration of the Great Fire of London is where book one, The History Keepers, The Storm Begins, actually begins in a secret staircase below the monument. So they were all filtering through. I think though the precise moment of inspiration was actually, I had been reading a book called The History of the World, which was actually a school book. And it was all about how one civilization, you know, really from the beginning of time led to another and to another, and it went all the way through history, but in the most kind of spectacular and exciting way, and there was lots of pictures in it, and it just made the whole story of history seem so thrilling. And I thought, I wonder if there's a way that you can weave into this great adventure story whereby you're essentially telling the story of how these civilizations all formed and turned from one to another, but through the medium of a classic adventure.
Have you always wanted to be a writer? What kind of books inspired you when you were younger?
No, definitely not. I feel I really definitely fell into it by chance. I always loved books when I was young, and I would say, you know, when I was kind of 10 upwards, I mostly loved adventure type books. You know, I was particularly, I like the Narnia books, and I like the sort of more classic adventures, you know, the Robert Louis Stevenson type books. I also loved adventure films like Indiana Jones and James Bond and all those things. So these were very much my inspiration. I mean, my tastes have very much diversified now, but I still love those particular types of stories. Even as an adult, they really appeal to me, you know, because I love to escape on these journeys. And actually, originally, I trained to be a designer, building sets for films, and through one thing or another, I got involved in the film world. And after a brief period being an actor, I then started writing for films, and that didn't really feel like writing. It actually felt like as a film writer, you're really more just writing down instructions for the director, so it feels very far removed from a novel, which really feels like proper writing. And I never imagined I would sit down and write a book. And it was really through my work in films that I suddenly realized that I could write a book myself and tell my own story, because a lot of the time when you're working in films, you're working on other people's stories, and I definitely wanted to tell my own, and the book is the best way to do it.
How did it feel when you first saw a copy of your book on a bookshelf?
Yeah, I mean, really incredibly amazing. I'd worked on a number of films, and you're just one of many of a team of writers on films. And often you're kind of working on other people's ideas. So to write a book that's all yours, and the whole thing has kind of come from your head, and it's about, you know, it's a type of story, the type that you love, with a lot of kind of adventure and action and romance and humour, and to create that and then to see it there ready for other people to read it's an incredible thing. I mean, I would say, though it was incredible, obviously, to see it on the bookshelf for the first time, last week was the moment I've been waiting for, when I saw a stranger reading the book for the first time, which is a much more exciting moment. And then you really do realise, you know, because I was obviously used to just making people read things, and when you realise that the public are wanting to read it as well, that it's unspeakably exciting.